Eugene, Oregon. It's a place nestled in the Willamette Valley, a city known for its vibrant green landscapes and a certain kind of quiet. Here, tree-lined streets curve around cozy neighborhoods, and the community feels, well, close-knit. People know their neighbors. They say hello at the local market. It's the kind of town where the unusual doesn't happen often, and when it does, it sends ripples through the very fabric of the community. In the autumn of 2014, the air was crisp, filled with the scent of rain and fallen leaves. The rhythm of life was predictable, comforting. It was a place where people felt safe, where a mystery of this magnitude seemed impossible, something you only see on television. But then, that sense of security was shattered. The predictable rhythm was broken. A chill that had nothing to do with the November weather settled over Eugene. It began as a whisper, a question mark. Has anyone seen her? Then it grew into a murmur of concern, and finally, a roar of alarm that echoed from the schoolhouse to the police station. The town, once so peaceful, was suddenly holding its breath. The disappearance of one of its own would change the way people saw their idyllic home. It would introduce a fear that lingered long after the initial shock faded, a constant, nagging question that no one could answer. The story begins, as so many do, on a perfectly ordinary day, a Tuesday. But this Tuesday would become a dividing line, a before and an after for so many people in Eugene. Before, life was simple. After, it was complicated by doubt and suspicion. The town's serene facade was peeled back to reveal a vulnerability no one knew was there. Every familiar face on the street suddenly seemed to hold a secret. Every shadow seemed a little longer, a little darker. The once comforting quiet of the town now felt heavy, filled with unspoken anxieties and the ghost of a question that hung in the damp Oregon air. That question revolved around one person, Emily Carter. A name that, until November 2014, was associated with warmth, dedication, and the bright future she promised her students. But soon, her name would become synonymous with one of Eugene's most haunting and unsolved mysteries. The town that had always felt so safe was about to learn that sometimes the greatest dangers are the ones you never see coming. The story of Emily's disappearance is not just about a missing person. It's about a community that lost its innocence on a cold November day, a day that started just like any other. Who was Emily Carter? To her students at Lincoln High School, she was more than just an English teacher. She was a mentor, a confidant, a beacon of encouragement in the often turbulent world of adolescence. She had a way of making classic literature feel alive, of connecting dusty old poems to the modern struggles of a teenager. Her classroom, room 21B, wasn't just a place for learning, it was a sanctuary. Emily had an infectious laugh and a genuine interest in the lives of her students. She remembered their stories, their dreams, and their worries. She was the kind of teacher who stayed late to help with an essay and arrived early just to chat. Her impact was profound. She didn't just teach us Shakespeare. One former student, Sarah Jenkins, would later recall. She taught us how to think for ourselves. She saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. This sentiment was echoed by countless others. Emily believed that every student had a voice, and she made it her mission to help them find it. She ran the school's literary magazine, encouraging even the shyest writers to submit their work. Her dedication wasn't just a job, it was a calling. She was woven into the very heart of Lincoln High, a constant, reassuring presence in its bustling hallways. Outside of school, Emily was just as vibrant. She was an avid hiker who loved exploring the trails around Eugene, a regular at the Saturday farmers market, and a devoted daughter who called her mother every single night. She moved to Eugene 5 years prior, drawn by the city's natural beauty and its reputation as a peaceful place to build a life. She had found her home, her purpose. Friends described her as cautious and responsible, not someone who would act on a whim or take unnecessary risks. She had a routine, a life built on stability and connection. That's what made her disappearance so jarring. It was a stark contradiction to the person everyone knew. Emily Carter was not the type to simply walk away. She had roots, responsibilities, and relationships that she cherished deeply. Her sister Maria put it plainly: Emily would never, ever leave her students. She would never leave her family. Something had to have happened to her. someone took her from us. The person who vanished was a pillar of her community, a woman whose absence would leave a void that could never truly be filled. Tuesday, November 18th, 2014. The day began like any other for Emily Carter. Her alarm went off at 6 o'clock in the morning. She followed her usual routine, a quick jog around her neighborhood, a shower, and then a stop at the Daily Grind, her favorite local coffee shop. The barista remembered her that morning. She got her usual, he told investigators, a large black coffee. She seemed normal, maybe a little rushed, but it was a Tuesday morning. She was last seen leaving the coffee shop around 7:15, presumably on her way to Lincoln High School, just a 10-minute drive away. She never arrived. The first sign that something was wrong came at 8:05. The bell for first period rang, and Emily's classroom, room 21B, was empty. Her students waited, assuming she was just running late. But as minutes turned into half an hour, a sense of unease began to creep in. The school principal, Mr. Thompson, tried calling her cell phone. It went straight to voicemail. He called again and again. By 9:30, after confirming she wasn't at home, he made the call that would officially set the investigation in motion. The 911 call was filled with a sense of disbelief. The principal's voice steady but laced with worry. The timeline of that morning was scrutinized endlessly by police. Emily was seen at the coffee shop at 7:15. Her school was less than 3 miles away. What happened in that 10-minute window? Her car, a silver Honda Civic, was found later that afternoon, parked just 2 blocks from her apartment, not the school. This was a crucial detail. It suggested she may have returned home after getting coffee, a deviation from her normal routine. But why? Did she forget something? Or did she meet someone there? The questions started piling up almost immediately. The investigation intensified as the day wore on. Police canvassed her neighborhood, speaking to anyone who might have seen something. A key witness emerged, an elderly neighbor who was out for his morning walk. He told police he saw Emily talking to a man next to her car around 7:30. He described the man as tall, wearing a dark hooded sweatshirt that obscured his face. The conversation didn't seem aggressive, the neighbor noted, but it struck him as unusual. He couldn't hear what they were saying. This mysterious man was never identified, becoming a phantom figure at the center of the case. The search for Emily Carter began with just a few small, perplexing clues. The first piece of evidence was found right away, her coffee cup. It was discovered on the ground next to the driver's side door of her car, still half full. This, suggested that whatever happened, it happened suddenly, interrupting a simple, everyday act. The police dusted the cup and her car for fingerprints. Most belonged to Emily, as expected. But they also found a partial, unidentified print on the passenger side door handle. A print that didn't match anyone in any database. It was like a ghost's fingerprint, a clue that led nowhere. As detectives dug deeper into Emily's life, they uncovered another unsettling detail. Her phone records revealed a series of strange calls made late at night in the weeks leading up to her disappearance. The calls were from a blocked number, and they were always brief, lasting less than a minute. Her sister, Maria, had no idea who could have been calling. Emily never mentioned anyone, she said, her voice strained. She wasn't dating anyone seriously. If she was scared or being bothered, she would have told me. At least, I think she would have. These calls added a layer of mystery, suggesting a hidden element to Emily's seemingly open life. The investigation stretched from days into weeks. The community organized search parties, combing through local parks and wooded areas with a desperate hope. Flyers with Emily's smiling face were plastered on every lamppost and shop window in Eugene. The town was united in its mission to find her. But as winter set in, that hope began to dwindle, replaced by a grim acceptance that they might not find her alive. The case grew cold, the leads dried up, and the unidentified fingerprint and blocked calls remained tantalizing but useless pieces of the puzzle. Then, 6 months later, a breakthrough, or so it seemed. A hiker deep in the woods about 20 miles outside of Eugene found something. It was a dark blue jacket, tattered and worn by the elements, snagged on a low-hanging branch. Inside the pocket was a small silver keychain, one that Emily's mother immediately recognized. It was a gift she had given her daughter for her last birthday. The discovery of the jacket confirmed their worst fears. Emily had likely met with foul play, but it brought them no closer to an answer. No other remains were found. The jacket was just another question mark in a forest of them. What really happened to Emily Carter? In the years that have passed since that November day in 2014, several theories have been floated, but none have ever been proven. The most prominent theory centers on the mysterious man seen by her neighbor. Was he an acquaintance, a stranger? Was it a planned meeting, or a random, tragic encounter? The fact that the conversation didn't appear hostile has led some to speculate that Emily knew her abductor. Perhaps it was someone from her past, a person no one in her new life in Eugene knew about. The late-night calls seem to support this idea of a secret connection. Another theory, though less popular with investigators, is that Emily decided to walk away from her life. Those who propose this point to the immense pressure teachers face, suggesting she may have simply burned out and wanted to start over. But this theory crumbles under the weight of who Emily was. Her family and friends are adamant that she would never abandon her students, her family, or her life without a word. The discovery of her jacket in the woods also makes a voluntary disappearance highly unlikely. All signs point to an abduction, a life cut short by an unknown assailant for an unknown reason. The central, unanswered questions are maddening. Who was the man in the hooded sweatshirt? Who made those late-night calls? Why was her car parked near her apartment and not the school? And what happened after she was taken into the woods? Without a body, a crime scene, or a confession, the case remains frustratingly open. For the Eugene Police Department, the Emily Carter file is a constant reminder of a puzzle they couldn't solve. It's a case that has been passed from one detective to another, each one hoping for the one lucky break that will finally bring closure. Today, more than a decade later, the mystery of Emily Carter lingers in the memory of Eugene. Her missing person flyer, faded and peeling, can still be seen on a few old telephone poles, a ghostly image from a not-so-distant past. For the students of Lincoln High, she became a legend, a cautionary tale whispered in the hallways where she once taught. For the community, her story is a scar, a reminder that the quietest towns can hold the darkest secrets. Emily Carter's final chapter was never written. There is only a blank page, filled with the endless haunting questions of what could have been, and a town that is still waiting for an answer.